a lot of things happening with the Aztec program. So it's almost like 2021 essentially is a continuation of 2020. And Tayler Hawkins, by the way, will be joining us. He's what I call a senior. He had his senior year last year. This was like a dream for me. I don't know about you, Fletch. You went through 4 years, right? At San Luis Obispo.
4 years. I wish I could have done 5.
See, I did 5 years at UCLA, and I actually wanted to do 6. I actually had a game and plan to do a 6th year as an undergraduate if I had been named as the editor-in-chief of the newspaper. I was trying to do that. Didn't happen, so I had to get out after 5. But Tayler Hawkins is going to get that rare opportunity for a college football player to have 2 senior seasons. Although, like I say, last year wasn't really a full year, was it? They only played 8 games, and it just was a challenging year. So we're going to be joined here in a moment by Tayler Hawkins, the senior cornerback for the Aztecs, and talking about this defense. Joining us right now is Tayler Hawkins. First of all, good morning, Tayler. Thanks for joining us here. And we were just talking about this rare opportunity for you to come back for a 6th season as an Aztec. Talk about that decision to have a second senior year, the option that was available to all the players out there because of the COVID situation. Why did you decide, I want one more run as an Aztec?
Well, good morning, and thanks for having me. But it's definitely an honor being able to come back for a second opportunity. I feel like I got a lot to still prove. I feel like as a team, as a defense, we have a lot to prove, and definitely want to win a conference championship and got some unfinished business to handle.
Yeah, Tayler, I mean, how challenging was it? I mean, we've only heard bits and pieces of what happened a year ago. I mean, you guys were under lock and key. There was a late start to the season. You had 8 games. You had that crazy game where you go to Colorado with, 1 day's notice and show up against a Buffalo's team you really had no time to prepare for. But what was the whole 2020 season experience like for you?
It was definitely a challenge. But coaches did a great job preparing us for the challenge and kind of making adjustments on the fly. It was definitely a challenge because we didn't have an off season. We got cut off in the middle of spring ball, so some of the new transfers didn't quite understand how Aztec football was played, and I think that's the reason why we struggled a little bit this last season, and kind of threw a lot of people off because some guys didn't even think we was going to play. Just like you said, that Colorado game, I think we scheduled it on a Wednesday. And then, the day of the game, 3 people got COVID and, a couple coaches couldn't go on the trip because of contact tracing. And we just didn't think we was going to play that game. And Coach Hoke just did a good job of giving us all the information that he knew and keeping us focused on the task at hand.
Yeah, that was just unspeakable. And hopefully 2021 season is going to go more smoothly. Tayler, you obviously were brought into the program by Coach Rocky Long, and now Brady Hoke has taken over as head coach. I won't say they're one and the same because they're very different people, but they have the same mentality when it comes to player leadership, senior leadership. You were a senior last year. Now you're a senior this year. How much of that is part of what you do on the field to be a leader on this defense?
Well, it's definitely important because I've seen how dudes before me, dudes that have came before me have took control of their position and how it worked out to be successful, So I feel like as one of the only returners, I definitely have to step into more of a leadership role, which I kind of did that last year, but we had a lot of veterans, so it was pretty easy. And definitely have to take charge of the secondary and communicate a lot more out there with some of these young guys and just show them how Aztec defense is played.
And Tayler, you have played all over that secondary during your years with the Aztecs. You're going to be starting at that boundary corner. That was Darren Hall's position from last year. But talk about some of the new faces on this secondary, because there's going to be a lot of turnover, a lot of new faces in this secondary, and how this group is going to work this year. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think Pat McMorris definitely solidified himself in the spring, and he's going to be real good for us. And he works out with me in training every day, in the workouts and stuff. So he's definitely up to the game speed, up to the speed we want him to be. We just kind of got to bring a couple more guys along to kind of buy into how the Aztecs do things around here.
So, Tayler, I'm just curious again, being a sixth-year player at San Diego State, I mean, do you have still classes after 6 years, or? I mean, I don't know. I mean, have you graduated, or I mean, how is this working for you, or pretty much can you just do football alone this fall? How's this all going to work for you with your 6th year at San Diego State?
Well, I was supposed to graduate this last May, but obviously Coach Hope gave me the opportunity to come back. So he gave me a couple of days to think about it. He didn't give me too long to think about it, but it was a pretty easy decision for me, And since I didn't graduate, I had to pick up a minor and just pick up some extra classes for this next football season.
Right.
This fall.
So, I mean, what kind of classes are you taking? I mean, here's.
Well, I actually picked up a counseling minor, so I'm really taking counseling classes, and then I have one more class that I actually need to pass to graduate. So the minor classes are pretty much elective.
Yeah.
And I really only have to pass one of those, like 3 classes that I take in the fall.
So it's not let's put it this way, it's not the kind of workload you had earlier on at San Diego State with your classes, right? It's a little bit lighter schedule in your 6th year.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, that's always a good thing.
Yeah, I definitely can focus on football a little bit more this fall for sure, because I have less of a workload. I'm usually taking like 5 classes. Now I'm only taking like 2 or 3,
right.
I think.
Nice. Well, Tayler, we're excited that you made the decision, and your leadership is going to be necessary in a secondary. It's got some new faces out there. How much experience was gained from a year ago is really hard to tell. I guess we'll find out when the new season begins. Stay healthy. Enjoy this 6th year, Tayler, and we'll certainly talk to you down the road. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me. Go Aztecs.
Go Aztecs. There you go, Tayler Hawkins.